Hello everyone, I am Baltmatrix, and today we are taking a look at Optimus Prime. Okay, not really, this isn't Optimus Prime, but rather this is Heavy Iron from Metal Carbot. I picked this figure up over at AliExpress. This figure is both a tractor trailer and a giant robot. Everything you see on the screen here transforms into a giant robot. There's no, like, little giant robot that merges with its cab. No. This whole thing turns into one big giant robot. I absolutely adore the overall look of this thing. This set works for me so well, and it's so much fun. It's a very simplistic transformation, but it works incredibly well. And the overall aesthetic we end up with is big old truck. I like that. The cab is very reminiscent of Make Toys' Striker Manus for some reason, or at least to me. I think it looks like that a lot, and I think it also looks like the recolor that they did, the blue recolor. Obviously, stylized a little differently, but to me, it just really looks like that. Now, size-wise, this thing isn't small. Here is Volvo Prime next to it, and it's definitely bigger than Volvo Prime. And another comparison would be Commander Class Motormaster. You could see that Motormaster, trailer-wise, is a little bit shorter, but the cab itself is taller than the cab that we have here in Heavy Iron. Now, I will freely admit there's not a whole heck of a lot to do with this figure in vehicle mode. It's not the most dynamic play pattern in the world. There's no gimmicks, there's nothing to do. It's just a truck with a trailer. A very good-looking truck with a trailer, but still, just a truck with a trailer that I have mistransformed. Dang nabbit! Specifically, what I have mistransformed are these red bits. They're supposed to be folded down like that. Not the biggest end of the world, but still, it's like, darn it! There is a trailer hitch that... we'll talk about the trailer hitch later, but it folds up, and it will just sit there when the cab is not pegged in and fall over. I love the way the cab looks. I think the cab is very well proportioned. The only thing I don't like is the giant robot head is just sitting right there. Yeah, I wish that folded up a little bit better, but it's, again, not the biggest deal in the world. It's very well proportioned, which I find to be odd, because normally our Optimus Prime figures are not very well proportioned. But we've got Age of Extinction and Siege Prime here, and it's roughly the same size as those three. Roughly. It definitely has a Mad Max vibe to it. I would love to compare this center cab to the upcoming Transformers video game. Is it Transformers React? Is that the name? Whatever the game that's being done by Splash Damage is. There's a figure coming out of that Prime. I would love to compare that figure with this guy. All right, transformation time. Obviously, disconnect the cab from the trailer, then grab the trailer and split the top and the bottom in half. The bottom will become the legs, so fold up the tires, and hey, look, feet. Unfortunately, the tires and the wheels, they don't peg in, they just kind of loosely sit there. Grab the legs, split them apart, and then push them up like that, and split the legs open. Grab these little panels, fold them down, and the legs are done. Then come to the top of the trailer, split that in half, grab the little sword in here, flip that out, blade out, and put that off to the side. Then take these sections, flip out the fists, and then push the wrists up into the body, and then grab the rear of it and actually fold it forward, and then shimmy it on the little bar there, and then this peg will clasp into there, and that whole thing will fold down, and then we've got a shoulder and an arm. And just repeat that on the other side. Flip out the fist, snap that closed, grab that, push that along there, snap it into place, fold it in, and bend the elbow, and we're done. Now for the cab. This is my favorite part. Reach into the side of the cab and flip out these panels, and they will cover the front of the cab, and they will snap together like that. Then grab the head in the back and flip it all the way out like that. Grab the smokestacks and flip them up and snap them into place. Then these big gray pieces, flip those out. Grab the entire rear of the cab and flip that up, and then drop the head and snap the head into place like that. And then we can start assembly. Big old connector port, big old hole. There we go. And then there's a sliding connector for the shoulder. Oh, this is the part I forgot. These little red pieces flip up that allow some movement in and out. Oi. The part I forgot to transform into the vehicle mode is now the part I forgot to transform in robot mode. Good me. And then take the shoulder or the sword and peg it in, and we're done. I love the look of this thing. This thing makes me think of like a super Optimus Prime, and it is so cool. I also love that head sculpt. I love the design of the head. It's got kind of a combination between Tobot and Gundam. Oh, it's so good, and it looks like it's supposed to have light piping. It doesn't. It just doesn't. But the pearlescent eyes are incredibly good. Posability, it's okay on this figure. It ain't great, though. Head is on a ball joint, but it is limited because there's a lot of stuff going on up there. Shoulders are on ratchets that can turn like that, and then we've got some in and out movement, though it is limited. Bend at the elbow does not even do 90 degrees, unfortunately. I really wish it did. Fists do not open or close, so posability for the arms is very limited, and you can't even turn them, which sucks. I wish the arms could turn a bit. And then the torso, it does have torso articulation, so it can move side to side. Legs can kick forward and can kick back, and they can kick out a bit. And there is bend at the knee, but there's no foot articulation of any sort. So the articulation in the legs is kind of pointless. But you can pull off, some threatening poses. I think that is the best I can do. Oh, and this thing isn't small either. Leader Class Grimlock, Commander Class Jetfire, the Big Purple Chair, Commander Class I Can't Deal With That Now, DX9 Carry, and then finally Armada Prime from Legacy. And I think Armada Prime is the closest that we come in terms of style or concept to Heavy Iron. And I'm just futzing with Armada Prime's feet here. The reason I think these two are so similar is because, yes, Armada Prime's, core robot is the cab, but everything combined together works somewhat similarly. There is a similar feel to things here, and I like that. Now, there is one thing we are missing with Heavy Iron, and that is his card. So moving Armada Prime out of the way, we are going to take a look at the little action card that it comes with. It's cute, but it's also attached to Heavy Iron's chest. And this chest piece transforms by flipping this panel up, snapping it into place, and then grabbing these wings and folding them all the way out. And there are clips that will peg onto the chest, like that. And that just adds a certain something to it, doesn't it? I do love the way this thing looks, even with the chest piece, but it doesn't need the chest piece. I think that it looks absolutely fine with the panels that it already has, but this does overall work well. I absolutely love this figure. I do. I think it is a ton of fun, and it's just something we've not gotten before. And the Carbot / Tobot / Korean figures just keep impressing me because they're just fun. They're not trying to do weird gimmicks. They're not trying to do anything crazy. Now, obviously, they do have their own gimmicks, but what we end up with here is just a fun toy. It's big, it's bulky, it's got a fun transformation, and it looks great in both modes. It's just cool. And I'm thankful that I'm in a position to be able to pick something like this up. It's not the cheapest thing in the world, but the shipping was reasonable, and it did take a couple of weeks to get here, which is the only negative, really, is just how long it takes to ship from China these days. But I'm okay with that because I end up with a kick-ass robot. What else more could I ask for? All of my praise being said, this thing does have one major Achilles heel, and that is the severe lack of heels. This figure is able to fall over pretty easily, unfortunately. But I do wonder, is there going to be add-ons to this thing? Because, I mean, there's nothing on the feet, but they've got these pegs here and pegs back here for other stuff, but those are for the transformation. I'm just wondering if there's going to be anything to add on to this guy, because if there are, or if there's another robot that's going to combine with this one, I'm definitely getting that, because it definitely has that feeling that it could do that. I'm not saying it will or won't. I honestly don't know, but it'd be really cool if it did. All right, folks, let me know what you think of Heavy Iron down in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. And before I leave you, I do have to show you where the trailer hitch went. And the trailer hitch's placement in the robot mode is pretty funny. It's right there. The trailer hitch. He's got a tiny little trailer hitch weenie. All right, folks, have a wonderful weekend. I've been Baltmatrix. Please like, share, subscribe, you know, all that jazz. I'll catch you all next time. See you later.